everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speakeasy podcast. And this time, I'm looking at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 8, Jojolion, Chapter 30, Pursuit. And it is not the trivial kind. Bum, bum, bum! And Jojo and Norisuke have finally gotten into the cellar. Tsurugi is still a little scared. And they find out that the chestnuts are still trying to break through that cellar door, even though they're now at least somewhat safe. It seems like, just the gravity is pulling them there. Like you said, just like the gravity of love. Bling! So they interrogate Tsurugi and they find out that Yagiyama promised Tsurugi a cure to his disease. And Norisuke is like, I thought the guy had talent, so I hired him. While he built my house and everything, he lived in this room. I liked his work. He did a good job. I mean, even during the earthquake, none of my windows broke. He was a great designer. I even had him make a fruit parlor down by the train station. But, we weren't like bros or anything. I didn't really look too much into his life. For some reason, he knows he likes cherry cola. But he's like, I never really thought too much of him other than that. It seems like he didn't have any big problems with him. But no great amounts of affection either. So he's a little bit like, I didn't really think too much of the guy other than, person I hired to shine my shoes. I needed something done. He had the skills to, fulfill said need. He gave me a service. I gave him money. He lived here for a while. I mean, I guess it's a little more intimate than others, but. And so, I didn't really think too much of it. So, once again, the gauntlets with the spikes. I mean, sometimes you just gotta look at a person's fashion sense and go, I do like your, Lloyd Wright design style, but spiked gauntlets, yeah. Elbow long spiked gauntlets, yeah. I'm gonna have to pass. I mean, usually that eccentricity leads to some interesting design, but you take your chances, and sometimes you learn that the right thing to do is not hire that kind of guy. But we find out from Tsurugi that he supposedly has a cure to the disease. And he even proved it, which is interesting, because apparently he has the powers of Christ. Bah, bah, bah. No. What happens is he basically is able to curse a dog, which supposedly is the same curse that he has. And, Tsurugi sees the dog turn to stone, and then he feeds something to the dog, and the dog is fine again. He's like, see? If I can cure that dog, I can cure you. So, if you help me out and kill this, JoJo freeloader who's living at your house, I'll give you the cure, and everything will be okay. So, Norisuke is like, I understand. It's kind of crazy that you might turn to stone and die. I understand why you did this, but that guy's flim-flamming you. And so, previously, they had checked on Yasuho and she was seemed to be fine and was sleeping. And Jojo was going to wake her up, but he didn't. So when they go back in, bum, she's gone. And Tsurugi mentions like the secret way into that room. And they're like, fudge, she got Yasuko. Now I gotta go after her. And Norisuke is like, don't worry. Don't go around touching stuff. Her shoes are still here. Because she took off her shoes before she went to bed. So, I can track her scent. And we can, basically confront this guy. I mean, it's going to be hard. Because apparently he can touch us. And then activate his power. When we can't see him. So, we're pretty much walking into a trap. But, what else can we do? At least we know that we're walking into a trap. So we can at least, mentally prepare ourselves a little bit. And, hopefully defeat this guy before his, weird gravity power takes us out. So, as they're trying to find this guy, as, Norisuke's stand is hunting them down. I'm not exactly sure his jigsaw power is related to tracking scent, but I guess when we learn a little more about Norisuke's stand, we'll find out more about what it does and what its general stick is. Because so far it seems to be track scent turn into jigsaw puzzles. I'm not exactly sure how those two things are related. But I guess we'll see. And Norisuke makes a big deal that, every first male member of the family gets the disease. And usually how we cure it is somebody else from the family basically takes the bullet. Some older member, basically sacrifices themselves to save a younger member. When I had the disease, my mom basically used the swapping power of the land to steal my ability, my curse, and take it on herself. So he's like, that's like, this cursed disease is way too, complex and, powerful for this Jagoff to have, some insta-cure. Which I'll talk about, I wonder if that's supposed to be the real answer, because there's a pretty decent, simple answer of how he did it. Or is that the fake out and he does actually have a cure? But I'm thinking it's more probably the other one. But, so we find out that, they track him down and, they find Yasuho, but they can't seem to find, no matter how much, Norisuke's stand tracks this guy and the scent, they can't find him. And they're like, And Jojo gets tagged again, but he uses soft and wet to totally smack the guy as he realizes he's stone. That's what it is. He's blending in with the stone. Every time we've been attacked, there have been stones around. He can hide himself as a stone, and that's how he basically reaches out and touches us. Because he's basically camouflaged himself. And then, basically, when we get close enough, he tags us and then uses the power. And then, since we don't know where he is, we can't judge how far to run off to, get out of the range of the stand. So, alright. We gotta, basically beat this dude because I can already feel something else coming. It's like, what is, the next gravitational object being flung at them? Bum, bum, bum. So, Norisuke also mentions, wait a minute, his thing is this power of attraction thing. How can his stand have, the ability to turn them into stone and he have the gravitational stand? And Jojo was like, no, 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 no. The gravitational thing is his stand. I think he's just living rock normally. And my theory is that his stand, like Jojo was correct, his stand is the gravitational power, but he basically used like equivalent exchange of, the town and its, the wall eyes to basically merge himself with stone at some point. So his stand power is the gravity, his um, rock power is from the wall eyes. So I guess the question is, did someone show him how to do that, or did he figure that out on his own? Because if someone showed him how to do that, that's most probably, our big bad, or at least the next guy up on the chain of evil. If he figured it out on his own, that could just make him an independent person that got, basically allied himself or was recruited by the bigger bad guy, or possibly, makes him in the running for the person behind the bad things going on in this town. If that's the case, if he at least knows how to do it, maybe it wasn't the person who discovered that thing, but it was, how to do the rock thing. But if he at least is aware of the technique, maybe he tricks Tsurugi by essentially taking a dog and basically giving it the same power that he does, basically being like, living rock. And so Tsurugi sees this rock thing. He's like, oh, that's like my disease. He, found this or cursed this dog, so it's just like me. And then basically what he did was he undid the melding, and that's the supposed cure. It's just him either using his rock meld power he got from the wall eyes, or basically doing it and then undoing it to the dog. And that would make, or he has some thing that he can feed it, an animal that undoes the effects of the walleye. So if like he were to give that same fruit to Jojo, he would split into both Kira and the other person who melded into Kira. So I do have to wonder, now that I think about it, if that's the case, because that would basically let the melded character who is Jojo become Kira and this other guy again. But that will be seen. I mean, my other weird theory is, what if he does actually have the cure? What if, this is kind of like a biblical Jesus curse? It did come from the stand, the holy stand, the corpse parts from Steel Bull Run. What if it's like the cure is some kind of like fruit from the tree of knowledge, and that's what undoes the curse? I mean, that would be, kind of in the wonky theology of JoJo's. I mean, that's a real long shot. I mean, also then, why would this jerk-off architect be able to turn on the curse and then undo it? But, that's just a weird, wacky theory. I'm more probably sure that he just stone-powered the dog, and then unstone powered the dog. So, I mean, I'm really curious once again why this guy totally wants to off, Kira and or the guy merged into Kira, if not both of them. I mean, he's pretty sure that he killed Kira, but I'm just curious what his motivation is. And it was interesting to see like Jojo crazy mad at this guy for trying to kill him. I mean, he's usually not that like fanatically emotional. He's usually much more of a kind of a calm character despite what's going on. So I'm kind of curious, is that kind of the residual of this guy killing him or at least killing half of him the last time? Or, is there something else going on? Or, is it just a random burst of emotion? I mean, once again, the dude is trying to murk him, so, being upset about him, with him is not, out of the realm of normal feelings, but I do feel it is a little more, passionately angry than this JoJo normally is. But, interesting chapter. It is kind of a battle against someone who is camouflaged. Curious to see how this goes back and forth. But, yeah, JoJo and Norisuke working together should be able to knock this guy out. I wonder, though, if he's going to get away and go back to that fruit parlor, because I feel like Norisuke mentioning that fruit parlor was also made by Yagiyami cannot be random coincidence. I mean, either that guy's, either Yagiyami is going to get away and they're going to track him down there as his base of operations, or maybe after they defeat him, looking for more information, they might go there to see if there's some clues left there about, what this guy is doing or such. But, I definitely feel that fruit parlor is going to come up again. It just seemed too important to note this exists for it to not come up again. But once again, fun chapter. Setting up interesting conflict. So curious to see how this plays out and what we learn after it. And see where Yagiyami is on the, chain of command of antagonists. But until then, see you guys next time.